Okay, and welcome to the Economic Report. It's Brian, glad to have you here. Um, Today we're covering a couple really important issues here. And you know what I might do is quickly change our venue here and maybe just quickly change where I'm located. All right. All right, and once again, welcome to the Economic Report. Thank you for joining me, and thank you for your patience while we went through a couple of setup errors here. So once again, we are talking about the things that matter and matter most to our economics, right? And so the lead story here today really deals with some pretty crazy stuff, right? We're talking about Jerome Powell's big announcement at the Jackson Hole. And of course, Jackson Hole is really kind of an important thing to take a look at because Jackson Hole really is a place where they're going to make some announcements on Fed policy, right? And of course, what can we really expect from this? Well, we can expect that there will be some kind of a 0.25% drop in interest rates. That is what's expected. What could be a surprise, of course, is something that's really much bigger than that. And we're talking about, seriously, about 0.5%. Scott Bessent, the Secretary of Treasury, went ahead and is on the record saying that Jerome Powell could go with up to 0.5% interest rate cut. And of course, we know that has some really super powerful ramifications on the economy. Hey, glad to have you here. Welcome. Thank you for joining me. And once again, folks, remember, go ahead and feel free to invite others here. And with that, oh, Katina, how are you? Good to have you here as well. Block, great to have you here as well. And I want to say that Jerome Powell really has some powerful information he's going to share, and he will have the day, he will have the moment, and he will have the opportunity to move markets. And of course, that's really what today's long form video was on. It was about, hey, what is going on with the markets? Because obviously, it seems as though the equities market has been getting really some good play. We're talking about the S&P 500, we're talking about the NASDAQ, we're talking about the Dow Jones Industrial Average. So those have been some really powerful movers here, and they're all at near or at all-time highs. And of course, I went ahead and did a closer look at the Russell 2000, which is 2,000 small companies. And of course, these smaller companies appear to be struggling a little bit more. They are not at all-time highs, not yet. But I want to remind folks that I do shout outs to anybody who hits a like and a subscribe while we are live. That is one of my favorite things to do. And of course, I want to remind you to invite others to join us as well. So just remember, that is the format here, that how I treat my lives. I want to make sure that I'm keeping people feeling appreciated and, of course, keeping you engaged here in this conversation. Go ahead and feel free to drop comments here in the chat section. Those comments here, once again, as long as they're appropriate and relatively on topic, I'll go ahead and respond to those things as well. And all right, from Brazil, okay, that's Portuguese, right, over in Brazil. Definitely not Spanish, but Portuguese. Hey, we learned all about you folks in school. You are awesome. Brazil is a super cool country. We actually had some missionaries from Brazil staying with us in the past. So I want to make sure you know that Brazil is way cool. And they actually attended an American school down in Brazil, if that makes any sense. Now, we're talking about 10 years or so ago, but super cool experience with a Brazilian staying with us. And if I can go ahead and share some additional thoughts here, once again, getting back to the markets, you'll notice that there has been a little bit of a stall in gold prices, and not even just a stall in crypto prices, but we've actually seen crypto down probably about $15,000 from where it was not that long ago. And we're talking specifically about Bitcoin. And of course, people are always a little bit leery about what Jerome Powell could have up his sleeve. Walter, glad to have you here. You are awesome. And Straw, glad to have you here as well. Glad to have you here as part of the economic report. You are awesome. And once again, liking and subscribing does wonders for this channel. And it gives me a chance to go ahead and give you a shout out and a big, big thank you. So just remember, that is the way we do things here at the economic report. Of course, once again, we're talking about Jackson Hole and, of course, the big economic summit that's going to take place up there with Jerome Powell going ahead and sharing insights where we're taking interest rates in the not too distant future. A couple things here that I want to mention to you as well, because I think you'll find interesting. Tomorrow's long form video, I think you're going to like it because it's about insider trading inside of Washington, D.C. And maybe you're in Brazil, maybe you're in some place like Kenya, but I'm here to say that people in the government always get some kind of inside information, and without a doubt, we most definitely know that people go to government and they go to public service inside government when it comes to the legislative, executive, and judicial branches. Many of them go into the legislature with the idea that, seriously, they are going to go ahead and help change laws, etc. But so many of the people in at least the U.S. Congress go in and they come out millionaires. In some cases, they come out billionaires because they really do have their thumbs on trade and how trading's done, right? They know inside information. They know what kind of regulations are going to be passed and the effects that those regulations are going to have on companies, whether it's opening up opportunity, whether it's going ahead and softening things. They are in a unique position to cash in like big time. And if you're a little bit worried about that, or at least somewhat concerned that people are playing with what you call a stacked deck, then you're not alone. People all over the United States have that sentiment. And of course, there's good information. And of course, you call that the best information is inside information. And this has been going on for seriously like decades and decades and decades. It's nothing new. I mean, heck, you go back to the Civil War. We're talking 1860s. People had inside information, and of course, they used that information to enrich themselves. So this is nothing new, but this is maybe the first time in history with the Trump administration that you actually have people who are willing to put their foot down and end this insider trading. So it's kind of interesting that it's getting to that point. Whether anything comes of it or not, I think the president is the type of guy who likes to go in there and be a disruptor. I think that's the one thing we can all agree on. But as a disruptor, sometimes you step on the wrong people's toes, and when you're disrupting, you're actually affecting people that are inside of your own political party, which I think also is kind of an interesting thing. I don't know how Swiss bank accounts work or how offshore accounts work as well, but that's something that could be going on here as well, where people could actually do an end around of any kind of regulations against insider trading. But it's something worth checking out, and it's something worth being aware of, and I will cover that story in more depth tomorrow because it really does deserve more attention than it's getting right now. And I think it's so powerful that a lot of people here that are watching this channel and who have liked and subscribed just like you are going to go ahead and find some real merit and real value. The average person, I find, is really more concerned about getting their kids to soccer practice Do they have enough money to pay their bills? Is there food on the oven? And of course, what's the price of gasoline? Those are the things where the average middle class person seems to be kind of in that headspace. And of course, they're worried about, is my school good? And of course, how are the grandkids? You get the picture. And so we oftentimes don't get to pay attention to the big stories that are going on. And of course, this is the channel that we've really tried to do some powerful things. The theme is where Wall Street economics and DC politics hit Main Street. And once again, if you're watching this channel, chances are you're on Main Street right with me. Whether you're in the United States, or whether you're in Brazil, Kenya, heck, or you're any other place inside the Anglosphere, the fact of the matter is, Canadians, the bottom line is they are my people from another country, but we love Canadians. We love the UK. We love Australia as well, because no matter where you are in the Anglosphere, I think that we're all dealing with some of the same issues here. You can change the country's name, but you really don't change the situations that middle class people, ordinary people just like us, are dealing with. So I share those things with you because they're worthy, and most of all, you want the type of channel that wants to cut through the crap, and that's what we try to do here at the Economic Report. So tomorrow you can count on me having a episode dealing specifically with insider trading in the United States legislation to stop insider trading, and of course, what the average wealth is of the people who are in Congress inside of the United States. And I'm quite certain that if it's going on here in the United States, it's going on anywhere throughout the planet, because sometimes these privileges and sometimes this insider information allows people to leverage themselves in ways that, well, let's face it, that we don't really quite like, or at least we don't think is completely fair. Or maybe most of all, maybe some of you wish you had that inside information as well. That's something that's very, very reasonable as well. Gold, once again, we're covering the markets today. Gold was down a bit as well, and of course that's been an ongoing trend for the past 5 days or so. Bitcoin down the last 5 days as well, and of course all eyes will be on Chairman Jerome Powell with the big Jackson Hole meeting coming up this Friday, and he will have a leaning towards, once again, economic policy with the federal rates, and you're not going to want to miss it. So with that, ladies and gentlemen, you might ask yourself the question, well, how do rates really affect me? But if it's affecting home prices, it's affecting the US dollar, like seriously, those are really, really important things to pay attention to. The US dollar as the reserve currency, really important thing to pay attention to. And if the United States is selling treasury bills, and you have a lower interest rate, well, it means those treasury bills are paying out, you guessed it, less interest. And with that, I'd also remind you that part of the reason why the U.S. bills have ticked up a little bit and have a higher interest rate, well, it's because the credit rating agencies have said U.S. debt is not as, should we say, attractive as it was before. So these are the things that matter, and they matter very much for people like you and I. And once again, we run these lives absolutely for free. All that we ask you for is a like and a subscribe, because that helps the channel out a ton, and it helps me out quite a bit. And of course, YouTube loves that, so I appreciate you supporting. And with that, make sure you are subscribed so I can go ahead and send you that latest news come tomorrow. You'll love that long form video. My name's Brian, this is the Economic Report, and I want to remind you, the biggest battle you fight is the one between your ears, over your thoughts, your actions, and your attitude. Make sure you smile, say hi to people, because your smile makes all the difference in the world. Have a great day, and don't forget to be awesome. Thank you for joining me.